When you reflect back on the 9/11, you think about a lot of things, but there was a question that was posed. Where was your God through all of this? And I had to give myself an answer to maintain my faith. And I went seeking God on this answer. And what he gave me was these words. He said, I told you I would never leave you or forsake you. In times past, and even until this day, and this still remains true. So even though you wasn't aware, even though you failed to recognize me, still I was there. Even though you chose never to call, even though the buildings fell, I didn't stop the fall, but still I was there in the midst of it all. I was on that plane with my hand-picked saints who I knew had the mentality to take back what was theirs to save the lives of many, even if it meant sacrificing their own lives for the sake of saving others. And that's what they believed in and died for. And that's why I called them martyrs. And for those that was on that plane that was so instinctively good that they assisted my people. That's the true meaning of partnership. And their goodness sowed into the salvation, so I counted to their account righteousness. And I was in those buildings, all of them. And if you had another verse to sing in life, I didn't allow the curtains to close on you that day. Instead, I made you late for work by giving you a relaxation spirit that allowed you and ordained you for cruising instead of your usual zooming. And it was I who sent you down from floor 91 to floor 21 before the disastrous deed was done, because I knew just how much time you needed to make it down to the ground, because I knew just how fast you were capable of moving. And it was I who sent you out for coffee, because I knew you'd panic and freeze. And I allowed sickness to overtake you, because I knew if you was at work, unless you got everyone else out before yourself, you would refuse to leave. And thus you would have died, because your heart is first rate. So thus your life was spared, because I'm going to have to call on that kind of selfishness again at another date. You heard me ask the question, oh, death, where's thy sting? If I could find it, I would acknowledge it, but I can't, because it doesn't exist. And you all wouldn't know that, because there's no one to testify of it. Because if there was someone to testify of it, they're not here anymore, because they experienced it. Oh, but I wrote of Enoch's testimony. See, Enoch, he walked with me, and then he wasn't, because I took him with me. Tell me, have you ever experienced the face of someone surrendering their lives with a smile instead of a grimace when they're supposed to be in pain? Well, I told you, sickness and disease does not kill you, because by my stripes I've already healed you, and this I still swear by none other than my own name. And don't worry about disaster or destruction, because it has no control. It can only destroy the outer covering, but it's I alone that preserves the soul. Now my spirit's hovering. See, if you just walk with me, when it's your turn to surrender the ghost, I'll send the angels in the chariots for you, and they'll say, come with the king. And in a blink of an eye, your body is vacant. Understand, my people didn't even feel the impact of the plane. Bodies being crushed in the rubble, flesh being burned by the flames, because to be absent from the body is to be present with the king. And when you're in the presence of the king, death has no sting. See, I'm omnipresent, but only choose to be when you invite me. Joyful, but full of joy for those that delighted me. All the safety and security that you will ever need if you acknowledge me as your salvation. And yes, I can and I will restore it all if you just see me as Jehovah, your restoration. You remember those school rules? Those school rules that uninvited my presence out of the out of your children's schools. Well, I am the sovereign one. And I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, wherever I want, and how. And even now, I want you to be a free will agent with the free will of voice and choice. So if you choose to walk with me, let's walk. If not, you choose to let me allow what you allow. And when your way fails, and it will, please remember these words I say to you today. If my people that are called by my name shall humble themselves, pray, seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven. Then will I heal their land. Then will I begin to sustain them again. The question was asked during 9/11. God was where? Trust and believe. During 9/11, I was there.